It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. She off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk through to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This man not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Aha. Now you not done here. All these bad politicians, them we call themselves politicians. When they thief our money, we no want to make the common man get what he supposed get for this country. Una never hear something. Now go hear one, Maiyegun, you go show na paper. Maiyegun diary Politico. So my people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people.
Hello there. One moment. Right. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. Let me know if you can hear this just before we proceed. I don't know if the audio is working. Give me a sec. Right. So my music didn't come up. So we're just going to roll like that. From wherever you are watching from, this is Maiyegun live. Share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. And tell them that Maiyegun today, I'll wait. Thank you. We're looking at the last, what do you call the last week of
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
happen. It don't shele. Kolu has been flown abroad. And we are back at it again. For 8 solid years, Nigeria was ruled, it's been led by a sick man. Sick physically, sick mentally. And for those 8 years, people were blackmailed. Nigerians were called names. For even asking whereabouts was Buhari, they will call you enemy of Nigeria. As Buhari was winding up, that they felt like they could breathe a fresh air, they have rigged Kolu in Tinubus. So it'd be like, say, we are back to that square one. This time around, it is going to be Buhari or Boko Hari Pro Max. Share this broadcast.
Ani Maiyegun lawamo dododo. MaiyegunDiary, Maiyegun #1. Ani esuraki. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú esuraki. Maiyegun ti dé. Ani esuraki. Lórí Facebook, Ani esuraki. Lórí YouTube, Ani esuraki. Ọba bá gbé wúrẹ́, Ani esuraki. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ, Ani esuraki. President Buhari o, Ani esuraki.
If you ask anyone right now, where is Tinubus? They will quickly back at you. They will charge at you. They can even start a fight with you for asking a simple question that where is the President select of Nigeria? Where is Kolu? Where is Tinubus? Where is Jaga Bandit? Where is Jaga Pupu? Where is Jaga Addict? Where is Asiwaju? Asiwaju àwọn olè. Asiwaju àwọn agbèrò. Asiwaju àwọn alọ́nilọ́wọ́gbà. Asiwaju àwọn apààyàn. They will start a fight. Or they can start blackmailing you. A simple question can lead to, are you wishing him dead? Do you want you are wishing him to die? Are you the one who give? No, I didn't say anything. I said, where is Kolu? Anyway, I'll give you the answer. The news that we have been kind of hearing, they came like rumors, right? But they started making sense immediately after INEC announced him as the president select. It disappeared. Few days after that, it was not seen anymore in public. It was, you know what I mean? It disappeared. What happened? Well, he's an old man. Let's give that to him. He is an old man that applied for the toughest, supposed hardest job on earth, being president of a divided Nigeria. He is old. He is contributor to the divided, destroyed Nigeria of today. Then he is sick. Over time, when they say they want to go to abroad to go and rest, one of the questions people do ask is that, hello, you guys have been in government, in power. You are supposed to have been building a country. Did you not kind of find anywhere in the entire country suitable, conducive, safe, comfortable to host every summer holiday or any holiday at all or any rest at all for the leaders who rule Nigeria. Remember that a lot of us actually see them as opportunists, scavengers, pickpockets, and as what scavenger does, they scavenge, they take, right? They are like vultures. All of what really matters or meaningful to them are mostly out of Nigeria, including their loot, right? And every now and then, they see Nigeria as a place they, like vultures, goes to the, to the war zone or graveyard to go and pick the carcass of dead bodies. This is how these guys see Nigeria. They have been building a nation. The most recent bricklayers building Nigeria, fraudulent politicians in Nigeria that has told you that they are building Nigeria. I call them bricklayers because they are not building anything for real. They're just building castle in the air. So they know it. 24 years, Kolu, there is no single hospital in the entire Lagos state that Kolu trusts to start with. In order for him to enjoy this type of, medical tourism and all that, he packaged the most sumptuous, I've been what they call it, the most tastiest pension package for himself, so that he could enjoy the free foreign medical care for life. Now that's part of the failure, Abi. APC Egbekegbe came in. Buhari became the president of Nigeria, and suddenly he fell ill, seriously sick, right? To the point that out of all the 8 years that is elected to spend as president of Nigeria, Buhari has spent more than 18 months outside Nigeria, most of it attending to his health. And out of all of these 18 months put together, there was never a time that it crosses his mind to build the replica of the same medical facility he is coming here in the UK to enjoy, to replicate same in Nigeria, because whatever he's suffering from, is probably not the only person suffering from that. That is the president of Nigeria, Buhari, the one that helped rig Kolu. Now, for those 8 years, some of us were blackmailed as heartless people, that we take politics too personal, for asking the criminals who promise to fix Nigeria but choose to fix themselves and their family members, and they are not ashamed of it, for calling them out. Their suffered followers, the humbled slaves, the sophisticated morons, the Buharidins, the Buharidideris, the Buharidinotus, the Buharidijatus, the Buharishukus, Ngoziaris, Unekaharis, their uncles and aunties abroad, the Bele lecturers, the Mumu lecturers, the Mumadus, they called us enemies who wish death on a sick, selfish, criminal leader. They wanted us to be prayer warriors. Are you following? For 8 years, every time Buhari, the lifeless Maigad, Every time he is bundled out of Nigeria for medical attention, emergency, or routine, when you ask that, how could these people be so shameless? How long does it take to actually, change your own health care system, having been a victim of a poor healthcare system in a country that you are their number one? How long does it take? What else does it take to convince somebody that things have gone so worse that you, the number one citizen, you have nowhere to be taken care of in the whole country? Not even the presidential clinic. Shut up your mouth. What is wrong if he goes to the UK? What is wrong? He can go to anywhere and he can go and take care of himself. All the rich people who are rich in Nigeria, they are going abroad. What is your problem, Maiyegun? What is my problem? And your mothers, your fathers are dying. Like a chickens that catch Kolu. Abikoli. Princess, is it Kolu or Koli? Your parents are dying in poverty. You are suffering, struggling. That's just some of you who believe that you are actually okay right now. I have told you before. One single health care crisis, just one single one, is just your one-way ticket to poverty. I will never be poor in my life. Maiyegun, I reject it in Jesus' name. Let him go to anywhere and take care of himself. It's not about going anywhere and taking care of himself. It is about the shamelessness of majority of you that have chosen that it is all right to die in oppression, in poverty, and then blame your destiny or something. There are people who believe that that is not right. Here you get. So, you can't reject anything that is staring you on the face. See, majority of you don't know this. One single sickness. For now, you are still like, your head is above water. Nigeria hard. Now, second house, you debut so. Abi? Business is not moving. Now, second car you won't buy now, Abi? Somehow, you are seeing it, you know it, but somehow, you are head above water. Any problem that is, any emergency that is beyond 5 million, or any emergency that is beyond 10 million, may God not bring it to you. But Nigeria can bring you an emergency of 100 million, empty everything, and continue to demand until you go into debt. Poverty day. Ask so many people who are falling into poverty because they've had to manage serious medical conditions that is more or less like feeding fat from their money, taking everything they have, whatever they can get, and the moment they run out of money completely, they will die in Nigeria. But your criminal politicians, they can access the best of the best medical care abroad. So, but why are you hiding it? So before you start blackmailing us, me, Maiyegun, I know they wish anybody anything, I wish you what you wish yourselves. Sure you get. And I wish you what you wish yourselves. Okay? Because sometimes, you can self-destroy without anyone having to do that for you. And they all start with the choices you make. If anything happened to Kolu, the first beneficiary is shitty man. So whatever paddy that you are seeing the Lagos Abobakus, you APC people from northern Nigeria watching me right now, any kind of romance you think you are enjoying with the Lagos Abobakus, Tinubus thugs, educated and uneducated, let me say this to you. You, all of you, you can be called or referred to in what Yoruba call dedere, nde ekun, ekun no nde dedere. Both of them, they are birds. I've been told. Dedere is a bird. Ekun is a bird. So they can't like watch each other like that. Pretend that they are the same, but they are looking for a chance to deal with each other. Any chance, any little loophole. Una go enter yourselves. Because from the word go, you've been what do you call it? Friends of I'm a stranger bed fellow. You see what they did in Lagos. If you are watching me from northern Nigeria, listen attentively, clearly. There is no point in rejoicing that the bigoted tribal imperialists and their supporters in Yoruba land decided to profile the Igbos and attack them because their tribal imperialist leaders have told them that Igbos are the problem. If Tinubu should fail to become president, na Igbo kosam. But behind the scene, some of them are also hearing with another ear that the reason why you rigged for Tinubu in northern Nigeria, falsified figures, fake numbers, and the rest, was because Tinubu is your own easy ticket to gain access back to power. Or should I say, Tinubu is your a one-way ticket to return power back to northern Nigeria. Don't think that the Lagos Abobaku don't know. They do. If anything happened to Tinubu, shitty man will be your president. Now then you go know, say, what did Lagos Abobaku are doing on behalf of Tinubu, what they are doing to the Igbos, they will do worse to you. Because according to them, they have paid the highest price to come this far. So instead of you hoping that Kolu should die, Tinubu should die so that Shitima can take charge, well, I will advise you that you should review that prayer very, very, very well. It's just an advice, okay? Because the same way they have decided to make Igbos their sworn enemy, for clarity, okay? Every attack, either online or offline, that is being directed at the Igbos and anybody who speak up against such, these are not from the Yoruba people. I know it may sound a little bit like diversionary. It is not. If you look around today, you can sense that there is so much uproar from the Yorubas, taking down all these bigots everywhere we can find them. On social media, everywhere. Yorubas are standing up against them, taking them down, just to let you know that indeed, no real Yoruba will actually support this act of terrorism that Tinubu has embedded in the miseducated, uneducated young Yorubas, so to say. So just for clarity, and it is not trying to be like, So anyway, we have now been told that Kolu, so instead of them to ask questions, what they are now saying is that, okay, hang on. When Buhari disappeared, that was when presidency, any little thing, presidency replied Femi Fani-Kayode, presidency replied Obasanjo, presidency replied this, presidency said, because Buhari was pretty much like dead to the world. It was just there being maintained, just to be, to keep bearing Mr. President. So all these ridiculous, ridiculous things that happened were in Nigeria today. including the economy that got destroyed, including the corruption that became legalized, including the judiciary that became compromised, including the security that became industrialized, and it became the Nigeria, the Nigeria defense became the Boko Haram terrorist, the terrorism multi-billion-dollar industry. So yeah, you get what I mean? Under them. So everybody was just doing their own thing. And then within a space of 4 years, Nigeria became the poorest capital, the poorest capital of the world. You know, they say the poorest people in the whole world lives in Nigeria because there was no president. There was no president. You only had a president, and then you had some other court jesters who were ruling Nigeria. So Tinubus, after this Boko Haram's experience, bam, they rigged a sick man, another sick man in. So they are now going to ask you, instead of you to ask where he is and what is all this, what is this? They would rather want you to turn to prayer warriors. Let us just pray to God. Election has come and gone. Everything is not always like criticize. Anybody can fall sick. These Olori Burukus are the product of the poverty capital of the world. Though. They are the product of the jobless capital of the jobless people's capital of the world. They have become, these same people, they are the victims of the most terrorized country and the most terrorized people in the whole of Africa. Despite the fact that they turned to prayer warriors under APC. It got to a stage when they didn't know any lie to tell. They said that Boko Haram was poisoned. Poisoned the now we pray how the enemy of our president who poisoned. How did he get poisoned? They said we're from the air conditioner in his office. Really? That they passed a chemical in there. More people were preaching like that in northern Nigeria. And the whole north, they were praying the Almighty Allah. Meanwhile, Boko Haram was suffering from what they called he's suffering from dementia. Is suffering from leukemia, is suffering from some, secretive, stay secret. They say that they had to change almost every part in him. You get what I mean? Kidney, liver, some veins, some skin, cut some skins off and repatch them, and all of it. It was like a real remake of Boko Haram. So they were praying. They said that rats chased him out of his office. Some things chased him and all of that stuff. These are the reasons why normally nobody would touch APC, Egbekegbe in Nigeria. So what did they do? They decided to spend enough money on propaganda to turn people against one another so that when you are like fighting yourselves, sure you get. And they started calling other Nigerians enemy of Nigeria for not praying for Buhari to get well. Buhari that is receiving the world best medical support. And you, what are you getting in Nigeria? Prayer point, anointing oil, fasting and prayer. Abi, what? Unto, and what? Agbo, and what? Roadside cleaning or chemist. What are you getting? Just one single sickness, one. And you are just not far from being poor, like wretched. Everything you think you have, gone. And that is when you realize that when they say, may Nigeria not happen to you, it's kind of a prayer that even if you don't understand it, you need to sit down and be like, how does Nigeria happen to people? It happens every time. So, Tinubus was flown out of Nigeria today. And when they were flying him out, before he was flown out, there were rumors that You know, Tinubu has a dementia as well. You know what I mean? He has a Parkinson. Sure, you get. Then he has that thing. What's that thing that when you begin to wear pampers when you pee yourself? Veterinary contenance, what is it called? He has that. He's wearing pampers to make sure that he doesn't pee himself in public. All of these are supposed to be old age kind of problems. But a lot of people are saying when you meet the people who are of the same age with Amoda, they are still strong, they are still agile, they are not as rich, they are not rich, but they are not poor. I mean, even those ones who are poor, they are better off. Incontinence, God bless you. So he's suffering from incontinence, he's suffering from dementia, he's suffering from Parkinson, he's suffering from what do you call when your tongue is disconnected from your brain? I think there's a medical something called, that is called, I can't remember. What is that thing called when your tongue is disconnected from your brain and they don't match? I'll give you an example. Hang on. When you see something like this, what is it called?
Alhamdulillah. 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 Alhamdulillah.
Or this.
All classes. You know what they call F level? When you get failure in all the subjects that you take. F9, F8, F9, F8, FF, double F. That is his name.
It is smoky Igbo. It is taking down.
Somebody said it's called the Shashia, the Shasia, the Shasha. Anyway, it is not, see, this is not a laughing matter, okay? That's why we should understand the danger. I actually want you to see the calamity that you are about to witness in Nigeria. It's going to be the worst of them all. Sure you get now, Immediately after election, it disappeared. They did something during their campaign. Instead of having to take him to the UK for medical care every now and then, you know, what they did was that they assigned a doctor as a specialist, those crew of specialists from here in the UK. They assigned them to him in Nigeria and they were following him everywhere during that campaign. You won't see them. You're likely never going to see them. But they were there. Their purpose is they will check on him in the morning, check on him in the afternoon, check on him in the evening before you go to bed, and make sure that they put down and record what they are seeing. And at some point, you remember the time when they were waiting for him in Kano, and he got to Kano and he said, I just came here to dance. And he went to a few places like that. He was like, I came here to dance. In some places, they had to cancel it and said he wouldn't make it. All of these are coming from his medical, you know, as usual. But immediately after the election, they automatically said he should be given bed rest, like proper bed rest, no disturbance, nothing much, you know, except if it has to be something so urgent, and that's when you will see him. So on the day of election of this governorship election, it became so, the rumor was so loud that even when he came out, and people started saying, no, it's an old video. That's not him. They started uploading the old pictures. They comparing the clothes he wore And then the person who attended to him that day, I was like, Mugbe, we are back to Buhari time, where we are not going to start asking if the video of Tinubu that we are seeing, if it's old or new, because nobody can see him. That was what was ringing in my head, though. I was like, people started uploading the old photo and the old video, and they are comparing them, and I was lost. I was like, Omo. They now asking, okay, if you saw him in Ikeja on the 18th of March, put up a video, he will give you money. Omo, na so me account the angle for different platform, different comment section, waiting for somebody to post the video, but majority are posting the same video. I was like, okay, and I shared that with you. But in my mind, I was like, Buhari Pro Max. We are now going to be back to if Tinubu is alive or is not alive. If Tinubu is dead or is not dead. Simply because you have been rigged and a sick man has been rigged to bear the arm of president, so that the Alibaba and 40 thieves, so that while the Alibaba is receiving treatment in London, the 40 thieves will be going about emptying whatever they can see. And to make everything work, they will further escalate the divide and rule. If you ask, where is Tinubus? They will say, why are you asking? Did you vote for him? I know you hate him. Simple question. No. They say, why are you asking? I know you are not asking because you love him. We love him. We love our president. We pray, God Almighty Allah, please protect our president to be fine, to come back. So then when he comes back in the plane, he will wave. When he wave, they say, hey, God has shamed all of your enemy. Hey, 8 years. Tinubu, Omolodo there, 8 years. Now 8 years you go use. God will shame all of your enemy. And they are suffering. They will be jubilating whenever they see him. You want to be back to that? Other people campaign though. Atiku is older than Tinubu. Atiku is still there. Tinubu, they no feel Olam again. So we are back. In a nutshell, right? I know you are saying, Maiyegun, in Jesus' name, they will never swear for him. They will never swear him in. In Jesus' name, he will never be our president. Say, oh, hey. Before you stop him, finally, you better be mentally start preparing. Here you get. I don't know. This is how they manage issue of Niger. And a lot of people here on MaiyegunsDiary, Politico, they will tell you the same. Manage your expectation. It is better. It would have been better if they never declared him in the first place. The fact that they pronounced him, is when you will realize that it is very, very easy, to give a cutlass to a madman. But it's never going to be easy to take it back from him. I'm not saying it is impossible. It's very possible. But until then, isn't it better to mentally prepare for this madman with cutlass? Because the people behind him, na axe then carry you. They won't shop down anything. So isn't it better to mentally prepare? So that you can have this strong mental, what have you, the fact that you survived Bokuwari. Some people now recovery they never survived Bokuwari. Because the shock that what Bokuwari has done to Nigeria, that anybody could have done that at all without any consequences. Some people, they are still unable to process it. But now that they realize, they are now recovering that, anything can happen in Nigeria. But some of you you think you have survived Buhari, Abi? Now think about what you've went through, what you have been through, what you've been through throughout, I mean, this last 7.5 years. What you call ogun, you see, everything those ogun, ogun. If you know the ogun that I laja in this year, what happened? What are the ogun you laja? I did business. They devalued the naira. I lost all my money because I couldn't meet up so you lost your business. It's ogun. It's ogun. Ogun aye. I was coming back from the bank where I went to go and renegotiate the loan. And on my way back, now this is why I entered this big portal. Bah! Baba! Now God save me. Oh. What's happen? You know, see the portal? Now I speak to our open eyes. There's enough for Kana where they the other side, then find me. Now people where they hawk for streets saw me where I entered the Kana. I said, oh, it is not the bad government that failed to fix the good road. I mean, to fix the road. Ogun ayeni, baba ogun ti mo la lodun yi. Ogun say oguni. Oguni indeed. Anyway, Tinubus, finally they said if they move him abroad, it's going to raise suspicion. So what happened is this: they will continue to give him that bed rest and all that. But there is a mistake they are making. They are telling him about what's going on out there. I'm talking about the case. What is going on? Sir, what about America? Did they call Joe Biden? No, he didn't call her. It's been over 3 weeks now. He didn't know that I won an election in Nigeria. And we are working on it. They said he will call you. He will call you, sir. Okay. What about Obi? The INEC thing, they don't close the door. Say, we close the door. But somehow, sir, he's finally submitted his petition. And he's not even just talking about the election, sir. He's not even talking about that your Chicago, Kilowi, what's that? That Chicago, University of Chicago. And that heroin deal, sir. And they said that, FBI, as well as DEA, as well as the Chicago unit, they are all going to be witness and principal witnesses in this case. But I thought they said he's going to talk about rigging. It's more than rigging, sir. CNN, Al Jazeera, BBC. Now, only Fox, we are praying that Fox will not see this. Once the Fox get the news, we are finished, sir. Ha. What are we going to do now? Say, one thing, the first thing first, please. We have cancelled the American trip for you. Once, if we survive it till the inauguration. Survive, okay, how many days to inauguration now? It's not days, it's how, see months, so months. That was when the machine started doing beep, 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 beep. Emergency. 6 hours. Let's lift him out of here. I'm trying to give you a scenario that prompted this. It wasn't planned. It's an emergency. We need to get him out of here. Now, who will be that person who can break that bad news? So now let me wait it. We can't break the news because they need to know what is the next thing to do. So this is not funny. I know you probably feel like it's funny. It's not. Or maybe I should get serious now. Now let's get serious, right? So something happened. It's an emergency, right? And for the fact that we haven't heard from Kolu for weeks, raised suspicion that something is not right, something is wrong. Remember, he's a sick man already that they are praying for. And they are saying that if you ask about his set, how is Kolu? They will say, we know that you don't like him. God will shame you. He's not going to die in Jesus. I said, how is he? If I ask you that, how are you? Shomama Bumini. Maybe you say I'm fine. So if I ask you how is Kolu, you say it's fine, it's fine. Which one is why are you hyper? Why are you paranoid? Sure, you get me now. So put that aside. They had to take him out, but they did something that is very unusual. Like I said, that this is going to be Buhari Pro Max. Everything you've witnessed during Buhari's time, just close your eyes. Everything, all this wahala in this world that you think is village people and all that. Close your eyes, just for 1 minute or 2 minutes, right? Close them. The one you escaped, the promotion you got, the one near you missed, all of them, and the people you lost as well. How you yourself escaped some kidnappers and all of that. Now open your eyes. You all right? You all right? Times 4. Times 4 of that. I reject it in Jesus' name. I reject it. Let's talk about something serious here. That's exactly what you are going to witness, and it's not a wish. It is for you to prepare, because these ones are vile. Vengeance is theirs. It's not of God, though. Vengeance is theirs, though. And in this case, they will kill. And you will think Buhari is actually, in fact, you will look back and see Buhari's time and say, Buhari time better. Imagine in this life, after everything everybody passed through there, some of you who japa, and then some of you who couldn't make it. And some of you are there asking God, why? Why to Shedamisi Nigeria? Imagine that in fourfold. That's exactly what Tinubu represents. It's not going to be there. You won't see him. He's never going to be around. So when they took him out when they took him out today, you know what they did? They turned off his Bombardier plane. They turned the tracker on it. They turned it off. So that usually, right, if you go there are websites, right? If you go there, you can see all the flights going in and out of all countries. Okay? For example, if you know somebody who is coming from America, somebody close to you, and they say, I'm going to be flying from Dallas to this or that, right? You can track the plane from where they are living until they get to Nigeria. You can track a plane from Nigeria to anywhere in the world they are going. You can. And then politicians, right, who are criminals, they can hide under radar. But there are those who can still track them too. Drug dealers. Drug dealers have private jets. They have all this, right? They want to go under the radar. They don't want to be tracked and all that. They turn off the tracker. I don't know if I'm talking nonsense anyway. But they shall turn off the tracker. We couldn't track Kolu. Sure you get. I don't know if I'm talking nonsense because I am not. That's not my field. I shall read this somewhere that they couldn't track. But it was obvious that the plane was going to Europe. Right? The plane was what? Going to Europe. And it could only go to 2 places. UK or France. As for UK, he has his family here in the UK. He has a house here in the UK, not in his name, but he has a house here in the UK. And the people who are giving him medical treatment, who are actually treating him, they are here in the UK. But he has a house in southern France. I've been at south of France. So south of France, where he bought a new house as well, sometimes in 2015. When Buhari showed him Shege the first time in 2015, he left Nigeria in 2016 to Guinea-Bissau, from there to south of France. Yeah? So now we are saying that if he left because of his health, then he's coming to the UK. If he left because he wants to go and rest and form his government, then France is you know, is in the UK. Now, this is how you're going to be doing. This is how you're going to live. This is how you're going to have to do your stuff. This is how you're going to be tracking your president. This is how you're going to be checking if he's alive, if he's around, where is he, and all that. Prepare, in my own opinion, don't be say we the wish him anything, because Kalu, as you see him, is a whole package, comic relief, and at the same time, generational curse. Anybody with the cause touch. Now them they tell the story. I'm not joking with you. Boko Haram is a cause. But some people feel like it is not. I understand. But a person where the thing touch. Now you go what? Now you go sing ula bala ula la la or ula balu. Bula bala. Bala bulu. Bulu bala. And all, when Nigeria touch you, this time around, you won't be singing Sai Baba, Sai Baba, Sai Baba, Kai Baba, Kai Baba. When Nigeria grips some people this past 7.5 years, people they shout Sai Baba, Sai Baba. I'm talking about the Sai Barbarians, Sai Baba, Sai Baba. They change it to Kai Baba, Kai Baba. All of you, when they say Bala, Bulaba, you say Bala Blue. They say Bulaba, they say Bala Blue. I say, what do they talk? They say with the grits. You the greet, Abi. You will sing. And of course, the line is there. Bula balu. Bulu bala. Or bala bulu. Bulu bala. A-B. Why need anything punishing? Sometimes when something they happen to you, say I bind, I lose, I fire. All principality in Jesus' name. Fire, I catch fire. And waiting you see the fire. This one you don't go see. And go they touch everybody and say, why, God, why? Why? What have I done? You've not done anything other than whether directly or indirectly. You brought Kalu upon yourself. That's enough. Okay, let's stop. Let's talk about something serious now, okay? Because it seems this is just like comic relief. Let's get serious, all right? Among the Atiku's petition to the to the Presidential Petition Tribunal, PPT, Atiku said it's called the highest valid vote. Kalu no get education. Kalu no go school. True. And in fact, he's a drug dealer, former drug dealer. Once a drug dealer, it's always a drug dealer. Kalu is a drug dealer. Same thing that Obi is saying. Now they are holding Atiku, they hold one. Your two balls. Sorry, women, right? Two balls. Men have two balls. As I'm talking to you right now, yesterday, was when the news broke that Peter Obi is not just asking about rigged the election. He's talking about this rigged sick man. Now, wanted criminal. Don't reward him. So yesterday, they say, when the whole news broke, now the two Korokpo of Tinubus, Obi they hold. They started saying, I am pained. I am pained. So why are you pained? So I'm pained because of all this ethics law, because of this election. Election is over. Let the healing start. Now two Korokpo that they hold. Now from there, they tell us that Atiku don't submit too. If I say now the same thing they asked for, we don't even know who go be that one's eyewitnesses. Kilowi, Atiku. He's also asking about Jamie Foss, what is it called in Chicago, sir? Ha. At Obi no, yes, and Obi too. Emma Bemilos UK. My Kusibi me the rest in me. I can never rest here. Emergency. So we wish him well. We wish him quick recovery. Even the obedient that are chasing him, they're like, if you see him, hold on. Anywhere where you see him, grab him. The obedient are now saying nothing must happen to Kalu because nobody they wish that shitty man to come and deal with them immediately. They are not wishing because they say, call you go pay for what you do. No run away. And then bring him back. Oh, say, well, if you see him back, now when you see him, you see him. They say one go form in government abroad. Do you think that's a trip that somebody will go for 2 days or 3 days or 1 week? Daily Alake and the rest said Tinubu traveled to go and form his government. Form his government. Ijero Ekiti, no dey there. The first place, the first state he won, Ekiti. Ekiti has some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mountains. I'm not kidding. Ekiti has mountains, hills, and then waterfalls. Very lovely place. They're not taken to Ijero Ekiti, Abi Ekiti, Abi Ijero, Abi Egbek. You know what I mean? Now the emergency, whatever it is, I'm not saying he has what it takes to get his own lawyers and all that. But I think the news had to prompt that. So he's not coming back anytime soon. Look at them, APC, Egbe. They will start counting this. Once they say Tinubu is better now, he's coming back in a week. You see this Maiyegun said he's not coming back. Now Ashwaju is coming. Oh, get. Every 4 years, your life will be going down the drain, but you will turn to prayer warrior. Some of you, as you are dying off in whatever condition you find yourself that time, they will still ask you need to pray for your president. With the UK, they collect medical care. Sure you get. So, of course, they will have to give you something, all right? Which, in my own opinion, it's never really going to be enough, right? So something happened. Look at these guys. You see these 3 guys? They are from Iperu in Ogun State. Are you with me? You see the one that is riding the Okada, that is pointing his hand. His name is Adamo. You see the one that carries the ballot box. His name is Lekon Oscar. You see that one with the back with dread. His name is J-Boy. They are all called Omo Governor. They are working for Dubious Dapo, the Ogun State governor. And you see that ballot paper that they are carrying. Now Dapo send them. Sure you get. They call him Egbon. We are doing it for Egbon. We are doing it for Egbon. These guys are cultists. To start with, they are cultists. And if anybody is looking for them, please go to Ogere Togeti. That is their base. They are dangerous, armed, and they are members of APC. Egbe. So some said that the same Okada they take carry Tinubu commander say, you guys play too much. Please. Slow it down. So here is Atiku's petition, where is petitioning the presidential petition tribunal and stating there that Kolu is a criminal, okay, and the election is rigged, and if it has to be done, he is the rightful winner. So they give them 21 days now to start the whole hog, right? But something happened today, which is quite interesting, right? It happened in Abia. Remember that most of the controversial places where APC rigged their elections, right? It didn't take much time before they declared them. Almost see what they did in Kaduna. When they were losing, right? El Rufai stopped the election declaration and they postponed it so as to go and manufacture the numbers needed, okay? And they can right away announce the winner and tell you to go to court. Go to court if you think you are not okay. Here you guys. Almost they rigged them out in they rigged PDP, you know. Now whoever can rig best anyway. So PDP rigged them out. They rigged PDP out in Kaduna. So PDP now try to rig them out in Adamawa, right? So PDP that tried to rig them out in Adamawa, they got their own election postponed. But you see the people of Abia, Enugu, where the obedient have been facing the serious violence attack from this PDPO, Eastern Nigeria. So, Abia State with 13 local governments or so, I've been at 17. Their election announcement got postponed till today. Sorry, announcement, yeah, the results. You know why? One local government. Okay? So PDP already lost. Labour Party leading them with over 90,000 on the collated result. Now, one local government remain. In that local government, I think they said they have 30,000 registered voters or something. Then they had 20,000 accredited. That means those who came to participate in voting, right? Then PDP came and they dragged all the ballot box, everything. Blah, 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 blah. So that then delayed the result because by the time PDP was done, the local government, that same local government, PDP came out with 108,000 as vote for PDP. Can you believe that? 108,000 from one local government, really? So that delayed them. Okay? So until they said they should go and count the result from the beavers. Their beavers. So when they checked, they now realized that indeed 20,000 voters were accredited. Okay? But just about 13,000 actually voted. Where did PDP get 108,000? And right at the right time. So you see this woman, Nana ya Oti, she is the vice chancellor now, not substantive anymore. I think she's the vice chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. She is the returning officer for Abia. So they said she insisted that the results inside the beavers should be counted, collated, before she would then announce the winner of the election. When they did, Alex Oti, who was leading anyway, lost the local government in conversation, right? The local government, he lost, and PDP won. And PDP only won the vote of 9,000 or so. And he got 3,000 or something. By adding that to his already high number of 90-something thousand lead, they had no choice but to declare him, making him the first organically elected governor in Nigeria due to Peter Obi's wave from the ground zero. He was, he's a former GMD of Diamond Bank, I heard. Alex Chioma Oti. He's been struggling and fighting to be governor of Abia State for God knows since when? 20 years? 16? So, with him, as the first elected obedient governor, INEC declared eventually, after all attempts to rig, organically, he is the first obedient governor. And with him, the Peter Obi and his people, in a journey of 10 months, they have been able, despite all, against all odds, attack violence, manipulation, and every other thing, they have been able to get one governor, 8 senators, 34 House of Rep members, 68 House of Assembly members. Imagine if they didn't rig them. It would have been a tsunami, yeah? If they didn't rig them. Nigeria won't be Nigeria. As they talk, Nigeria long baby. See the same in now. Months ago, a lot of the obedient despised her. They despised her so much that they called her enabler. Why? She was said to have given it's a pandemic. It's a pandemic. The Boko Haram sympathizer. She gave him that useless professor that this weary is writing in front of his name. Professor Issa Pandemic. They say that this woman give him after some monetary inducement. Others said she did in order to buy her way in becoming the real vice chancellor of that university. But today, this woman is now in the good book of the obedience for doing something right here, standing our ground here.
Reiterate my guiding principles since I started coalition activities for the Abia State governorship election on Sunday, 19th March 2023. 1. I am Professor Mrs. Nena N. Oti Ni Ibewu from Afibo, Ebonyi State. 2. I am the current Vice Chancellor of FUTO, that is, the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. 3. Democracy remains the best form of government. And democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is the best form of governance. 4. I have spent the better part of my adult life in pursuit of the high ideals of good governance, which includes, but are not limited to, the following: the rule of law, transparency, accountability, inclusiveness, etc. I shall stand squarely, unapologetically on these principles. Five. Therefore, the people's voice and mandate shall stand. The pastor in me and the mother in me also will not permit me to do anything that will adversely affect the future of our children. I shall do right by God and by man. 7. The position of INEC Abuja on the Obingwa case was already in the public view by a press release and indeed a press interview by Mr. Festus Okoye, the INEC chairman. Professor Mahmoud Yakubu had called me and briefed me on the proper way to proceed. I shall therefore abide by all INEC guidelines. I shall now call the admin secretary. He has already done that. That is what I said. At this point on Monday, I then called the INEC admin secretary to read to us verbatim the press release. Thereafter, we continue.
That's all right, man. That's all right. Thank you. So, last, she declared Oti as the winner. So, Alex, meanwhile, in Enugu, similar scenario is playing out. One local government where PDP decided to load and overvote, and they are saying that INEC must declare PDP winner. And let Labour Party go to court. At least Shebi Obi went to court. Shebi Obi is in court now because it feels like it's rigged. They cannot afford to let INEC announce. And when you see their results, including rigging, anyway, listen to the guy. Duaga, so Enugu.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chijoke Edoga. I'm the Labour Party governorship candidate for Enugu State. Yesterday evening, we presented a petition to the Independent National Electoral Commission elections collecting body with regards to what has happened in Kano East local government in the course of the conduct of the gubernatorial elections. Here is my petition. Petition against the non-usage of beavers in the conduct of the gubernatorial election held on 18th March 2023 in Kano East local government. The just concluded Enugu State governorship election is fraught with serious irregularities and fundamental flaws in the conduct of the governorship election held on 18th March 2023, particularly with respect to Kano East LGA of Enugu State. We humbly wish to bring these irregularities to the attention of the returning officer for appropriate action as provided in the Electoral Act of 2022. The Electoral Act and guidelines made pursuant thereto provides that the bimodal voter system, BVAS, is to be used for the conduct of the Guba and State House of Assembly elections nationwide. This is a mandatory requirement, and failure to comply with these requirements renders any result of such election invalid. The Commission, through several public service announcements, reiterated the centrality of the use of beavers in the accreditation of voters through their permanent voters' cards and in the transmission of the results directly from the polling units to the INEC portal. Such election invalid. The Commission, through several public service announcements, reiterated the centrality of the use of beavers in the accreditation of voters through their permanent voters' cards and in the transmission of the results directly from the polling units to the INEC portal. The provisions of the Act are very clear. And the consequences of such violations is the cancellation of the results. We note with dismay that this mandatory requirement of the Act was flagrantly disregarded by the officials of the Commission charged with the responsibility of conducting the Guba election in Kano East. It is evidently clear that the beavers, as required by the Electoral Act, were not used for the voters' accreditation. By virtue of the Electoral Act 2022, see Section 47.3, the results from the entire Kano East should be cancelled. We therefore urge the returning officer to cancel the results of Kano East LGA election, which was conducted without the usage of beavers as required by the Act.
I will not allow you to. Help me. If they carry me, they go, we are not know. Help me.
Sorry, bro. I've just heard that the INEC have declared PDP as the winner of Enugu. Sorry, bro. So that means they told you to go to court. So una go meet for court with that.
Pastor, ó ń sọ pásítọ̀ àwọn àmọ̀jọ sticker ló ń sọ wa àṣẹ kò rí pé orí wa ti burú ìwọ má nílá ìpápá ẹ̀dàrúnrin yẹ́n náà wà ní báìbù tó ń jẹ kò jẹ́ pé sàgbé tàbí kò gbẹ́rì tí kò gbé tí abẹ́ jókòó tẹ̀ rà gbẹ́rì tí bá yọ píù àwòyí àárín o mọ̀ ní pé wà nínú báìbù pé ìgbà tó fẹ́ mú Jésù kọjá ní àárín òun ògèrí Jésù kí ni Jésù lò àfẹ́ rí ló lò ìwọ má nílá ayé bàjẹ́.
Ikú pa o. So, Kolu, who has absconded from Nigeria, and they said they went on to treat him, to rest and form his government. So that's going to take us back to Lagos now. Because in that same Lagos, where the UK embassy, I've been a UK government, they have issued a statement concerning the elections, right? So, and they say that they want to apply visa ban on some people who organize. So they are supposed to ban Tinubu, cancel his visa, everything. Diplomatic or not, cancel everything. So it doesn't have diplomatic, by the way, so I'm just saying. So yeah, on his way to the UK. So Gbadebo Eko today gave a press conference detailed of what happened in Lagos. You probably will be interested. Let's key that in. I didn't tell you before, but it's worth it. Listen.
Good afternoon, Lagos. I start by once again thanking Lagosians for their courage, for making decisions based on hope and resisting fear that the ruling party tried to put in them. They came out in spite of all of that, and they showed remarkable courage. And I want to thank Lagos for that. Our message from when we first started and still till today, both His Excellency Peter Obi and myself, has always been about empathy, love, good governance that is both open and accountable. Yesterday, I spent my day visiting victims of Saturday's state-backed terrorism and violence. From Abule Ado to Surulere to Apapa to Ikeja, I met with young men and women that had bullets lodged in their chin, in their face. Just as about to come and take a seat here, I was told that one of our polling agents from Ward K1 in Trade Fair just passed away. I saw people with lacerations cut all over their body, young men with fractured legs that we had to pay over 800,000 for their surgery. And I want to take this moment to reach out to all of these people that in spite of all the attempts to put fear in them, they stood against it and came out in hope and courage. That I am with you. We are with you. Myself, my deputy governor, the party, we are together, we are with you, we are by your side. And it is not just lip service. Today we launched the platform called grvcares2023.com. Please, anyone that has been a victim of electoral violence, log onto this website, upload evidence of this violence, upload your hospital bills, upload a police report if you have it, and we will offset your hospital bills. Because empathy and love is not just lip service, it's in the action. Love is action. And for people that came out in hope and courage, we are going to show that we stand by you, we value you, and we appreciate you. Yesterday, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu called for healing. But healing cannot happen without justice. The APC unleashed evil on Lagosians. Spiritually, with their fetish diabolic rites that were done during the day, and physically with violence that was unleashed on all Lagosians. There's an attempt to make this seem as though it was a Yoruba versus Igbo situation, and it was limited to certain areas, but it was widespread across the whole of Lagos. From Koshofe to Shomolu to Ikeja, everybody was affected. Everybody was disenfranchised. Yeah, they want peace, but it's not really peace that they want. They want the peace of a graveyard. They want healing without addressing the issues of bringing justice, so they want the healing of the dead. The thrust of my message is not to the evil cult organization of the APC, but it is to the indigenous Lagosians and Lagosians at large. We cannot afford to have an bureaucracy, a militant type of government in Lagos State. We all believe that we had gone past this type of politics. We all believe that democracy had been deepened. But we saw not just violence and diabolic means of trying to restrain and belittle the people of Lagos to create a one-party state, all the way from Ikoyi to Ikeja to Ikorodu, were all disenfranchised. They could not campaign based on their past record, so they stoked ethnic strife. For the ambition of one man and his cult, the entire credibility that INEC had built over the last 4 years was ripped into shreds in one day. For the ambition of one man and his cult, we saw our traditional institutions reduced to pawns, to tools, or rites that were supposed to be done at night and witnessed by only the people that have been initiated into the Oro institution, was being done during the day, invoking in broad daylight the spell that Senator Tinubu and his cult have used to keep Lagos bound. There was no election in Lagos State. It was violence at multiple levels, physically and diabolically. On this ambition, they sowed seeds that potentially can lead to things that we have seen in other countries like the Rwandan genocide. Seeds of discord, seeds that othered our neighbors and people that we have known and have balance and harmony in this state. My dear Lagosians, our enemy is not, they are not our neighbors or our visitors or fellow Lagosians. Regardless of their diverse tongues, our common enemy is violence, insecurity, poverty, stagnation, corruption, and underdevelopment. And the same people responsible for all the things I've listed weaponize poverty and ethnicity to distract us from their evil endeavors and diabolical activities. We will never have free and fair elections under a Tinubu presidency, because we can see by their antecedents, you can predict what is to come. Instead, we'll have a military type one-party system that seeks to disenfranchise and suppress people as opposed to engaging the people, selling their mandates, accounting for the stewardship of whatever positions that they've had. We've seen it happen in presidential to a lesser extent, and we saw their entire vision for Lagos State on Saturday. They have tried to destroy years of delicately balanced ethnic relations, years of intermarriage and friendships, years of commerce, and years of building Lagos into the economic juggernaut that it is. I call on the silent majority, the decent and cultured Lagosians, to speak out. Silence in this regard is not golden. Silence in this regard is acceptance and support. And we cannot be silent. It is enough of the worst of us defining the rest of us. On Saturday, we saw the APC's vision for Lagos, an agbureaucracy, a government by the agbureaus, for the agbureaus, and for the thugs and people that choose to suppress the good people of Lagos.
Gbadebo and his own message is a call for action to condemn the rigging, not just the rigging, the violence that took place, the war that took place in Lagos, where people who went out to vote ended up in the ICU, in the hospital, and some of them ended up dead. Vote, so they want to go and vote. Jide Sanwo-Iku rigged the election, perpetuated war over the state he's been governing for 4 years. He declared war on his own people because he didn't want to lose election. He intimidated them, he threatened them. Almost everyone in that Lagos received their one threat or another, simply because that Sanwo-Iku didn't want to lose election. So after the killings, after the destruction, after all that, Sanwo-Iku woke up the Monday morning and he announced salary increment, 20% salary increment for all workers in Lagos State. 20%. Hey, the whole state still felt like somebody died over the weekend. Because even their godfather, the one that this man became senior advocate of nonsense or senior advocate of nuisance, and he turned himself into a lying machine. Somebody did a program on Festus Otobokeyamo defending Kolu Tinubus. I'll share that with you.
One account, the one in Heritage Bank, that they took $460,000 as their tax on his interest, on the as tax on interest, that he benefited from the deposits he made, that the investments he made in those accounts.
$460,000 was forfeited, and it was forfeited with respect to violations of USC Code 1956 and USC Code 1957. It's clearly stated here in black and white. It has nothing to do with tax. And if you go into details of what the punishment is for Code 1956 and 1957, you will see that it is a fine of not more than $500,000 or prison time. And so $460,000 is less than $500,000. That was the fine. That was the forfeiture punishment for Bola Tinubu for the violation of these two.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I want to share that with you. Somebody did a sort of collection of Festus Otobokeyamo, the Ugeli charge and bail lawyer, the Sansan senior advocate of nuisance, trying to defend Tinubus cocaine heroin deal. No wonder they didn't add his name to the Sansan people who won't defend their Kolu. It's a DEA. What is DEA again? She now waiting. Department of what? Let me make something up. DEA. Koyemi. But they are those who investigated the call for narcotic. And they are coming. Imagine they now send. They are not going to come here, Baba, forget it. They what if they don't give them visa? Baba, calm down, okay? The courts may talk, say no, they go accept them. Yeah, fine, I get that. Court can say no. If court says, yeah, bring them. They don't need visa. There's something called the conference court or something. Now, from their base there, they go the answer question here inside the courtroom. Even Tinubu lawyers go, they ask television question. Sorry, Agent Smalls. Agent Smalls. Can I ask you one question? Yes, that's why I'm here. Ask me, Ogbeni. Yeah. So don't let anybody put anything in your head. You see what is going to happen, eh? Just key in, plug in into MaiyegunsDiary Politico. I will fill you in. It's going to be a serious show all along. So they can't bring DEA, then bring the FBI, bring all these people. You know they watch film? You can't send the Festus Otobokeyamo to go and defend you. Can't they lie for court? Now from that court, Otobokeyamo go enter jail. Imagine your lawyer, this one a lawyer, your lawyer, we won't defend you, say the conviction where you get, where you can't make deal in America, for drug trafficking, money laundering. You can't go accept Festus Otobokeyamo. Hire Otobokeyamo as your lawyer. I didn't know that before. The guy was a EFCC lawyer. For 20 years. How long? 20 years, EFCC lawyer. They said the guy don't win one single case. One single case. Obedient said, because they be weary now. Now, in they give the defense. Now, in they give them expo, how they go take defeat EFCC. The way they be the one where they go, they shout. Yeah. But meanwhile, it's a fraud. It's a fraud. Some said it's fraudsters. It's not actually Festus. That you should call him fraudsters. Otobokeyamo. Well, that can be a little bit right? Fraudsters. I know. Just a Festus, okay? Just a Festus Otobo, Keyamo, or Ugeli Judge and Bail lawyer, or senior advocate of nuisance. If you are very good, if you are not somebody who talks slowly, you can just say fraudsters, Keyamo. Now from there, you see this kind of thing there. Now George go just say, "Are you the lawyer?" Say, "Yes, I am the lawyer." Oh yeah, so where say tie your hand in leg, Oh yeah, tie the hand and the leg of Tinubu, the defendant. Two of them, go and put them in jail. I don't want to see them until I die. Sir, yeah, Timbatiku. Is that a life sentence? It doesn't matter. They are going to be there as long as I am alive. I'm just joking. Anyway, like, you'll be so mad when your lawyer lies like this. How did he become a son or sand?
Those accounts were 10 accounts in 3 banks. Accounts legitimately opened by him, and there were funds that he kept saving, where he was keeping his savings in the US.
That's a lie, because his salary was $2,400, and at one point he deposited $661,000. At another time, he deposited $1.2 million. That's $1.8 million. How do you save $1.8 million when your salary on a monthly basis is $2,400, which is actually just $38,000 plus per year? And he stated it himself that he didn't have any other source of income. So where is the savings?
As I speak with you, if you want to know whether there is a criminal charge against somebody, you must have a complainant. So you will see the state versus so and so person. You must see that. And then you must have a charge number. You must have a charge number if there's a charge against anybody. There is no charge number in those documents.
There were 2 charges. That's another lie. 18 U.S.C. 1956 and 18 U.S.C. 1957, which borders on money laundering and financial fraud. And then there was a charge number. The charge number is staring you in the face. 93C4488. That's another lie from Festus Keyamo.
If you look at those documents too, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu was not mentioned as a defendant. People have skipped that. It was only account numbers that were mentioned, and at the end of the day, they just said account numbers in the name of Tinubu. That is all. Not that Tinubu was a defendant. It was accounts in his name, not him. Those accounts were sealed, not him. It was action in rem.
That's another lie. The prayers of the United States Attorney was that due notice be given to all interested parties to appear and show cause why forfeiture should not be decreed. Who will come and appear? Is it the account number? So that's another lie.
There is no charge. There was no charge. There was no indictment. There was no criminal process. It was a purely civil process against those accounts.
There indeed were two charges, 18 U.S.C. 1956 and 18 U.S.C. 1957, which bordered on money laundering and engaging in money transactions in property derived from fraud.
Now, there was an affidavit by somebody called Kevin Moss. Kevin Moss is just a normal prosecutor you see.
That's another lie. Kevin Moss is not just another prosecutor you see. Kevin Moss is a senior special agent. And aside that, the work he did will boggle your mind. These 4 sections from the document outline that he filed 18,300 files. So that's no joke.
What they did in the case of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu was therefore to file what they call an interim process for forfeiture. It was not a final process.
That's another lie. There were 5 documents, and the last of them is the final forfeiture, the final decree. You can see it there. So there was a final decree starting from the verified proof of forfeiture to the warrant of seizure, down to the settlement, down to the final forfeiture. So that's another lie.
The Kevin Moss, all those the positions you see there about narcotics and all that, it was not a judgment of the court. It was an opinion of a prosecutor trying to convince the court to issue a forfeiture order. It was not an opinion of a court.
Another lie. These are seizure warrants that were issued to first of all freeze the account, and then there was a final forfeiture that was issued, which is also an order of court. So to say it is speculative and it is not final, that's another lie.
And so it was a presumption. These processes are processes of mere presumption. So they found monies in his accounts. They said, well, they needed to come forward. And in that affidavit of Kevin Moss.
Again, another lie. This is verified complaint of forfeiture. They were not speculation. He backed it up with an affidavit and he got a warrant of seizure and then got settlement and got final forfeiture. So it is not mere speculation. This is another lie from Festus Keyamo.
They said they interviewed Mobile. Mobile said, yes, this man is a treasurer in the Mobile. But they said, no, those funds are not from them. But they confirmed his status, not as a criminal, but as a respectable employee of Mobile. It is in the affidavit of Kevin Moss.
This is a potential lie because the Mobile is talking about is Mobile Oil Nigeria Limited, which is not ExxonMobil, because many people seem to think that it is ExxonMobil. It is not ExxonMobil. In fact, the company has changed its name now from Mobile Oil Nigeria Limited to 11 PLC.
Look at paragraph 38 of the affidavit by Kevin Moss. I want everybody to look at paragraph 38. After the rigmarole of trying to find out whether the account in money, where the monies came from, whether they were linked to drug and all of that, it was all speculative. They came to the conclusion that the proceeds he got from the tax, the deposit he made there what they call what these bankers normally call investments. He kept the money there and he was getting profit on the interest. They said he had not paid tax on those interests. That is all. So it was not like a deliberate act.
That's another lie from Festus Keyamo. The whole charges that were brought against Bola Ahmed Tinubu were USE Code 1956 and 1957, and they bonded on money laundering. To say that it was tax is a deliberate lie. A very, very big lie. In fact, the forfeiture order did not include that it was for tax. This is the forfeiture order. The final order. It stated that it is for narcotics trafficking and money laundering. Those were the two charges. So this is another lie from Festus Keyamo.
Yes.
Would you liken the settlement that Bola Tinubu had with a court in the United States at the time over these monies as a sort of a plea bargain?
No. A plea bargain, you cannot build something on nothing and expect it to stand. A plea bargain must arise out of a criminal charge. Like I said, there's no charge, nothing anywhere, nothing like a charge anywhere.
That's another lie from Festus Keyamo for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There were two charges, USC Code 1956 and 1957, which bordered on money laundering and using proceeds illegally gotten. Going from that, you see now that there was a plea bargain. This is stipulation of compromise settlement, which is plea bargain. So there was a plea bargain. And in the plea bargain, initially, it was supposed to be 1.8 million that was seized, but eventually they just fined him based on the charges that he was charged, because he was charged with two codes violation, USC Code 1956 and USC Code 1957. And if you look at the punishment for those violations, it says not more than 500,000 US dollars. That was why only 460,000 US dollars was deducted from the account, because that's what the law speculates as fine punishment for the violation of the law. The other option would have been imprisonment, which I'm sure that Tinubu would not have wanted. So there was a charge, there was a plea bargain, and there was a fine, which is actually the forfeiture of the 460,000 US dollar based on the law.
You established that there was a forfeiture. But if there was a forfeiture that was made, and that kind of forfeiture is still subsisting, and it has a criminal nature, that has not been set aside up to date.
No. A forfeiture, you see, that's why I said you should take a paper and a biro. This is a lecture class for you. A forfeiture is not something hanging on your neck. It's a permanent settlement, and everybody, you will shake your hands and go your way.
The forfeiture in this case, which proves that this is another lie from Festus Keyamo for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the forfeiture in this case is based on code violations for 1956 and 1957. The punishment for it is either fine of not more than 500,000 US dollars or imprisonment. And so Bola Ahmed Tinubu was given a fine, which is the forfeiture settlement that he got, and it was $460,000. There was a forfeiture, which is actually a fine based on the two charges that were brought against him.
I refer you again, paragraph 6, page 2 of the settlement signed. In that paragraph 6, they were even begging Asiwaju. They said that, look, please don't proceed against us again. This is a final settlement between us. Go your way, we go our way.
That's another lie from him, from Festus Keyamo. Festus Keyamo, as a senior advocate of Nigeria, knows that there is always indemnity clause in such plea bargains to prevent you from saying, or your children from saying, oh, the money that was seized from you was actually responsible for the death of your relative, and so they want to sue because of that. It's just an indemnity clause. That is usual. In fact, not only for plea bargains, that it's normal. So coming to say that they were begging him, that was just a blatant lie.
Out of the 10 accounts, those accounts were 10 accounts in 3 banks. Accounts legitimately.
Omo, Keyamo ya where they go. That's the lawyer. Imagine you sitting down there, and they say that is a lie. I said, no. With any case, he said she should get. That's why I say you should get pen and paper. Pen and paper for what? Keyamo. Even me, where be say I no be lawyer. I don't the vex. I be frustos Keyamo yawere ni. Omo yawere gidi gan ni o. He's talking nonsense, but he's the loudest. On Nigerian TV, because he knew he wasn't talking to Sheung. He's talking through Sheung or talking through channels. Because over time, a lot of people were using what Otobo Keyamo told them. What they heard him say, they were using that in defense of Kolu. Somebody said that, man, this would have worked well there before the election. Don't worry, nothing will work well before election or after it. You there? Nothing. But the main thing is that for the first time, a lot of you are going to understand why, if they continue and they force the Tinubu on you, why it's going to be an illegitimate president, something that they are struggling right now to stop. But it is not the work. It is not the work of, it's not your work. It's not the work of the opposition. It's not the work of anybody, okay, to prove to INEC that Kolu is a criminal. They have a DSS in Nigeria that should check your criminal background, your financial background, and everything that they need to know about you. Once they clear you, that is when you can go on and then pick up a form and contest election. That's what their law says, right? INEC need to clear you. So if you don't pass through all the security check, you are not supposed to be cleared. And the position you are going for, it is the higher the position, the higher the security scrutiny. But in Nigeria, you know that nothing, nada. Because if they were doing their background check, they would have known that Kolu, a born criminal that is now old. Look at him. A born criminal is now old rogue now. Here you get. Nobody today, you know, they do all this thing. It don't take. That's the, you know, it's like something you say. It's like something that is been. This is his life. Here you get. When there was no social media and all that, princess, we won't confine boy from Tinubu. Princess, who be that person with the right five boy every time I put Kolu's picture on the screen? Show why mini. Okay. When there was no internet, when Kolu was doing his usual GBT, Baranda, Biribiri, some people still took it upon themselves to fact check him. He said he attended the St. Paul's School, primary school, a lawyer. This is inside newspaper in the 90s, I mean, in early 2000 though. All right. So this is Kolu when internet no day, newspaper. They had to publish. They say, now the 1965 students be this government college Ibadan. We know that ourselves, they know their names, see them, Tinubu no day here, Amadashan Golere no day here. All these old students had to go and do newspaper publication because Tinubu was using them to fill form. The Baranda didn't start today, we don't tell. See? They had to go and do a full newspaper report on him that we don't know Amo. We don't know Amo. We don't even know this person. Where he talks come from? You see all those people who say that they secondary school in 1965. Or more. 1965. Oh. My mother was probably just 2 years old then or 3 years old. I don't even dream say they go bomb me. I wish they don't bomb me for that Nigeria self. You know, I told you that story before. When we're younger, when we face shege as kids. So once in a while, when you want to talk to God, you just be like, God, if I come back to this world again, I want to be a dog in America. I don't know if you did that. I mean, we're so poor that you wish for something better, like you wish for something nice. Then if you can't get it, you just say, well, if I die, you say, God, please, even if it's just going to be a lamppost or a street light in Canada. God, I want to come back to this life as a street light. Say, why? Why would you say you want to be a street light in Canada? You say, being a street light in Canada is better than being a Nigerian. We're kids. We were kids. Say, God, if I want to come back to this life, I want to be a cat. Say, why do you want to be a cat in America? Say, because, white people, they love to take care of cats. Me, I'm suffering here. Small boy or small girls. So Kolu don't pay. Don't she baranda ebo. And there are people who have always known that as well, don't say no so. But first also to boke yamo. To ti lọ gbàṣẹ pano iṣẹ́ kílọ̀tì ń pè iṣẹ́ alágbàfọ̀. Who turned himself into the laundryman, washerman, and all that. Defending something that happened when he was still being sent to go and buy barley and the granuts at the Ganifawa Emishemba in Lagos. So was he there? No. Maybe he was still in Eforum at the Ugeli in Delta. when Tinubu was running heroin cartel. You remember that something Agbele? That Agbele that is part of that drug campaign. He got appointment in Ekiti under Fayoshe. He became a political appointee in Ekiti, drug dealer. The one that was mentioned in the indictment. But look at Totobo Keyamo disgracing his family. Again, here is another part of that lie. I like that guy. I'm so sorry that I didn't grab the author, the guy who did that. I believe it's David. If it's not David, then it's somebody else. So, Allah Mabami bless you anywhere you do. Otobo Keyamo, if this one represents you in a case, now from court, they're supposed to jail you and name if you use Otobo Keyamo as your lawyer. So, yeah, look, I'm going to Esa. Suicide, yeah, Majidun. I said, go and throw them inside Majidun. These two. How could be somebody be so confident and be lying like this?
One account, the one in Heritage Bank, that they took $460,000 as their tax on his interest, as tax on interest, that he benefited from the deposits he made, that the investments he made in those accounts.
$460,000 was forfeited. And it was forfeited with respect to violations of USC Code 1956 and USC Code 1957. It's clearly stated here in black and white. It has nothing to do with tax. And if you go into details of what the punishment is for Code 1956 and 1957, you will see that it is a fine of not more than $500,000 or prison time. And so $460,000 is less than $500,000. That was the fine. That was the forfeiture punishment for Bola Tinubu for the violation of these two codes. So it's a punishment. The forfeiture was a fine that he actually paid. It's not tax. There was no way that it was stated that the $460,000 was for tax. And Keyamo knows this. So he blatantly lied to deceive Nigerian public just to protect and defend Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The NBA should sanction him for this action. This cannot be negligence. This is just blatant lie.
These documents, in fact, rather than indict Asiwaju, these documents exculpate him and makes him as white as snow.
This document actually nails Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the cross. It's a final nail on the coffin. It's clear. Look at it. It's a final order. It's a forfeiture. It said $460,000 belonging to Bola Ahmed Tinubu represents proceeds of narcotics trafficking or were involved in financial transactions in violation of USC Code 1956 and 1957. And the punishment of it is forfeiture. And the forfeiture is determined based on the fines or imprisonment that is the punishment stipulated for that law, for that charge. So this is another lie from Festus Keyamo for Bola Tinubu.
There's a fundamental question on the source of the money he deposited, of which he reached a settlement. Has he given a satisfactory explanation of the source of the funds?
Well, thank you so much. Now, at that point, the burden was on the prosecution in the US, or from the states in the US, to prove that the funds were proceeds of narcotics. Now, that if you look at paragraph, I want you to go to paragraph 2 of the affidavit of Kevin Moss. He kept saying that it was his reasonable suspicion. It was like probable cause, probable belief. It was speculative. All of it was speculative. They had not come to a definite conclusion.
That's another lie for Tinubu by Keyamo. They came to a definite conclusion, and that's why there was a forfeiture decree, a final one. And the charge there, you see it there, it is in violation of USC Code 1956 and 1957.
You go to a new land, you go to a new place abroad, any Nigerian you see, especially from your own tribe, they become like brothers to you. You associate with them, you visit them. You may do 1 or 2 transactions. You may not exactly know what they are involved in. You may not know what they are involved in. It happens to all of us. And you can see that the whole of that investigation actually touched on 2 or 3 Nigerians. So let me admit that. That had nothing to do with Asiwaju. And I don't want to mention their names here. People should go and read it, but because they have families in Nigeria. The other Nigerians, two of them, who were actually linked to narcotics. One of them was actually arrested. That one made confessional statements and confessed to another Nigerian. as the one involved. But that principal suspect, read that affidavit, never mentioned the name of Asiwaju. What happened? Asiwaju went to open an account. The address by which he opened the account was an address already, used by these people. I think some block of flats. Maybe he happened to be in that block of flats too. So they now linked it to say, oh, well, these other people they were investigating for narcotics, they are in the same address used by Asiwaju to open that account. So that is what is there. I cannot deviate from it.
That's another lie, because Bola Tinubu himself said he knew these people and he opened the account. The company he had access to had these people as shareholders. So that's another lie. Look at these documents.
Section 137 of the Constitution 1D, subsection 1D, which says that a person under a sentence of imprisonment or fine for any offense involving dishonesty or fraud by whatever name it's called, or for any other offenses imposed on him by any court or tribunal shall not be qualified to contest for the office of the President of Nigeria. In view of the forfeiture and the settlement that Bola Tinubu had in the United States, as a senior advocate of Nigeria, what are the legal implications of that circumstance, considering the section 137 subsection 1D of the Constitution?
Well, forfeiture is not a fine. Fine is a punishment. Fine is a consequence of a conviction. Fine is a consequence of a criminal trial. So fine has nothing to do with forfeiture. Forfeiture is a civil process. It's a complete civil process. So say, well, we are not even going into trial at all. The state goes into forfeiture proceedings with individuals just for the purpose of getting their monies.
2 charges were brought, USC Code 1956, USC Code 1957, and the punishment for those 2 violations is either a fine or imprisonment. And the fine specified for the USC Code 1956 is fine of not more than $500,000. So that's why he was fined $460,000, which he forfeited. This disqualifies Bola Ahmed Tinubu totally, because if you look at the fine that he paid, it's a fine. He paid the fine. He paid it. It's not disputing it. Though they call it forfeiture, the forfeiture here is a fine, which is the punishment for the violation of USC Code 1956 and 1957. So having been fined, it disqualifies Tinubu from running for the post of President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And of course, drug trafficking, money laundering is an offense. It's an offense. Engaging in monetary transaction in property derived from specified unlawful activity is an offense. So Bola Tinubu must be disqualified.
You have, at that point, he had not fulfilled his financial obligations regarding the deposits that were made there and the interest on those deposits. And so they said, well, you know what? Out of these 10 accounts, we are going to take our interest. That's a blatant lie. Where do you see interest in the order here? This is the final order of forfeiture. It says that funds in so-so account to the amount of $460,000 in that account in Heritage Bank belonging to Tinubu represent proceeds of narcotics. Where did this say tax? And were involved in financial transactions in violation of USC 1956 and 1957, for which the punishment is a fine of not more than $500,000 or.
See, my brother, we'll leave that one for now. Everybody see they look for Tinubu. Even the Tinubu they talk about, nobody know where in there right now. We are going to send out a search party. Man, they help us find out. Did you see Tinubu today? Did you help us see Tinubu? Then you go about with the phone. Say, sir, excuse me, do you see this man? Excuse me, did you see this man? Have you seen this man? Have you seen this man? That's the one we are doing for now. We'll come back to for the court case. Some people said that a match never starts. Player don't get injury. This will not be injury. Oh. This is MIA. Missing in action. Now, when you see player, you go see saying get injury or not. For now, we don't even know where he is. I forgot that song. It's a song that when you are looking for Akoni that is dead. When you pretend that he's still alive, then they will say, something like that, Sha. For now, let's find Tinubu before we can then say it should answer Atiku, it should answer Obi, He should answer this. He should answer that. And then we can talk about wherever this is even going. Such a, it's such a shame that some people have this wish on themselves. But you know where I started feeling like, wala mawa, like there's going to be a problem. When I saw the process that is producing these rogues and criminals, yeah, and I'm like, and people are expecting something from this. They can't. I am not.
Forward. As a result of the that a new version of PDP have been satisfied, have satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared as a winner of this. That is returned elected. Forward.
Abuna. As a professor, I don't know, even a professor of, I don't know, but that's a professor that is working for INEC. And there are many like that. They don't write what they go say. The result, everything, they don't prepare them. Now the money, go there, get paid. When they get paid, they say, yeah, read. Like that one, read. And they are reading the names of those that are coming to come and make Nigeria better. And you believe them. I'm not showing you. But let's read just with the people of Abia, since they have done what they know how to do best. Rig in Enugu. Let's celebrate this ones.
PDP are
that. You may not understand why they are joyous. It's like a freedom for them. it's like, okay, as much as people feels like they cannot get out of the hands of PDP and APC, nobody believed in them, nobody took them serious, and at the end of the day, for the first time, they did it without godfathers, without all this money back, without all this, all that. A clean slate. I'm on the place where we say they beat somebody, we say, electoral officer, person they come from one local government, they beat an neck bend. Last, they killed them in Enugu, attacked them in the same place. So finally, they come finally announce them. You say me they no dance, then break somebody's neck because of election. No, then broke the neck of electoral officer. In that place where you see people dancing now, when you saw people dancing.
They were numbering over 15 to 20 of them who descended on me, totally dealt with me, and whisked me out of the collection center. That I mustn't be there to collect, so they can have their way to perpetrate fictitious numbers they are already doing out.
Who are these people you mentioned their names?
Chibuzo Nwogu, Nelson Ngozi, also known as Tomaru, Solomon, Maduka Olono. These are people I know very well and their names. The rest of them, these are talks, I don't really know them by their names.
Which political party?
They're all from PDP. They are all from PDP. From A to Z of them are all from PDP.
Here you get. So now you understand why they are dancing. Early in the morning, today, they had to start cooking. So the INEC will know that we die here. Oh. Sure. Making their breakfast this morning. Then when they make the announcement that finally Abuja has allowed them to go ahead and then have their obedient day, I think it started from the market before I took it to that street, right? Even inside the market, I think. I think that's what an election should be like, or should I say, what if you had an election in Nigeria? That's how the entire country should look like. But you know what it feels like, because the person that rigged himself in told you long ago. I don't know if some of you actually probably got that when he said, "Power is not given; you take it." Call you.
This is what we are doing. It's being determined to do it at all costs. Fight for it, grab it, snatch it, and run with it.
Yes, Jagaban. Jagaban.
That's what we are doing. Power is not served a la carte. You grab it, you take it, and you run with it, like you do with the ballot paper or ballot box. That is how you get power. In the Academy of Kolu, anyway, I am going to see you later. I know I wish I could take calls tonight, and I am so sorry if I disappoint you. This is where we're going to draw the curtains. Yeah, I wish I could make it more dramatic and all that. I think I should let you or leave you wanting more. Thank you so much for spending your evening with me. I will see you some other time. And if I get to know where Kolu is, you will be the first to know. You can count on me. Like, share, subscribe, and then let's meet again next time. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí.
Maiyegun Diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun Diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun Diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun Diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Maiyegun Diary Diary Politico.
Maiyegun Diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun Diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun Diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bíjó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀.